In today's gospel reading, we get a question, one directed right to Jesus. Why do we and the Pharisees fast much, but your disciples do not fast? It's a weighty question, to be honest, a simple one, and yet a vital dilemma. It's one of the disciples of John the Baptist who asks the question and does so on behalf of just about all the Jews. You see, around the time of Jesus, the Jewish people lived a life that was permeated by religious practice and action. The fancy word is orthopraxy, but basically what we're talking about is that in addition to simply believing in God, they had all these different rules to follow and actions to perform, all sorts of practices involved in living a proper, holy life. And one of those proper holy things to do was fasting. It was an esteemed part of Jewish piety, a way of showing devotion, a way of foregoing and surrendering on behalf of the Lord, something that all the Jews took part in. All the Jews apparently, except the followers of Jesus, which leads to this very raw and very real question, one that's basically saying, we all thought this is what God wanted us to do, Jesus, so what's the deal? It's a legitimate question that deserved a legitimate answer, which thankfully He gives them. Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? Jesus asks in response. The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast. Jesus offers a great point. You don't show up to a party and sit around pouting. You don't go to a big fancy gala and say, no thanks, I'm not eating tonight. You don't go to a big celebration for a friend or family member who's reveling in their birthday or has graduated or has been promoted and then say, no, that's all right, I'm fasting. These are moments in our lives in which we celebrate. No matter what else is going on or what kind of diet we're on or whatever, we rejoice for and with others. We need to. It's one of the things that makes life worth living. And Jesus is simply saying, guys, this is one of those moments. I'm here, the Son of God, the Lord, right here. If you're ever going to stop fasting and have fun for a quick second, now is the time to do it. Now, let's be clear, Jesus definitely isn't saying that fasting is bad. Not at all. He's just pointing out that while sure, there are times to fast, there are also times to celebrate, times to feast. Both are important in recognizing what's happening in our lives and in our faith. What's kind of funny about this reading today, though, is that as Jesus is pointing out that it's not time to fast now, well, for us, it is time to fast now. During Lent, we often do fast. We might give up something for 40 days, or we abstain from meat on Fridays, or we make sure that we do sacrifices throughout the season that are meant to help us step back and simplify. We fast to help remind us that this is a time of waiting, of penance, of preparation for the glory that comes with Easter. It wasn't time for the disciples to fast because Jesus wanted them to celebrate that He was right there with them. For us, we take this time to flip that around, fasting and foregoing, so that when Jesus returns in glory on that Paschal feast of Easter, we will better know what it's like to be without and be so excited to revel in His return.